Hi there, my name is Teneil MacNeil. I am an adoption and fertility lawyer in Ontario, Canada. I am also an adoptive mom and the mother of a donor-conceived child. Jumping on here today to talk a little bit about a course that I absolutely love and cannot recommend enough to adoptive parents, and that is Pathways to Permanence. Pathways to Permanence is a course offered by the Adoption Council of Ontario. It is free to families who have adopted through the public system, so through a Children's Aid Society, but I do believe that it is offered to kin families as well in certain scenarios. And so interwoven connections, separate and apart from the Adoption Council of Ontario, are two separate resources where you can reach out and connect with those organizations and just make some inquiries about Pathways to Permanence. There is also a link on my website under the helpful resources section. You will see that the course Pathways to Permanence, there is a link there, parenting children who've experienced trauma or loss. There's a link there to the Adoption Council of Ontario's sign-up sheet. So why do I recommend Pathways to Permanence? What are they teaching you? Let me just take you to the link, because who better to explain it than the Adoption Council of Ontario? But what this course does, really, well, let's talk about my experience. We'll talk about what they say in a second. For me, I had adopted my daughter. She had just come into my home at age 3, and we are now 12. It's crazy how time flies. I have taken this course twice. This is above and beyond pride training. The benefit of this course in my mind is that the child's already in your home. You've had them for a while, and all of the things that they mention in pride training that really don't mean all that much to you in the way that they do when the child is in your home and you're living the reality of what you've learned. Well, at the time you participate in Pathways, typically the child is in your home and you have some questions and you have some lived experience, and you're then surrounded by people that are just this incredible support and a resource. And so beyond the professionals that attend and provide you with this training, the families that you're surrounded with, the opportunity to make those connections, those friendships for your kiddos, to make those friendships, it's just, that for me was life-changing. And the people I met at Pathways have kind of a special spot in my heart, and they're the people I call when I need a glass of wine, as I'm trying to figure out how best to manage through certain scenarios. So Pathways to Permanence, what is it teaching you? It's teaching you, and I'm just going to take you over here. You can't see it, it's too far away. But really, it's helping you to build a stronger connection with your child, to understand why your child might be behaving the way that they are, how they see the world, how they view things differently, and how their brains are operating. Because when you parent a child who's experienced trauma and loss, which is often the case in the context of an adoption, you're not parenting them the way that you would a neurotypical child, let's say. Consequences don't necessarily work. The way you thought you'd parent, or at least the way I thought I would parent, you throw it out the window, and it might look odd to the outsider. You might feel very isolated and alone, because the outside world might be looking in on you and scratching their head thinking, well, come on, like, Johnny did A, B, and C, like, and a consequence, right? Like, take a tough stance here. They're going to learn, they'll get it. Why are you approaching your parenting the way you are? Well, you know what? You don't have to worry about all of that. When you enter a course like Pathways, when you connect with like-minded people who get the journey, but beyond that, they're giving you the confidence to know that you're doing things right. And where you don't know how to parent, which, I mean, do any of us know how to parent? They're giving you tools and skills and a degree of understanding as to what your child is experiencing that really does help you help them. It helps you to help them thrive, to work on that self-confidence, to connect with others, to build that attachment. Attachment is really a big thing with our kids. They might have experienced so much loss that they really struggle to connect and trust. And so this course, I've taken it. I don't even remember how old my daughter was. She might have been with me for a year or two when I took it the first time. And then, you know what? She was getting older. It was maybe 5 years later. And I don't know, just as a parent, I needed to ground myself, to remind myself what my daughter's experience was and why she would be feeling the way she was feeling and why she would be behaving the way that she was behaving, and how I needed to recognize what was going on with myself, my own triggers, and how I needed to show up for her, how I could best support her. So that is beyond therapy. It's an addition to therapy. Certainly I have received counseling and from someone trained in attachment issues and adoption, and that has been a considerable help to me as I kind of work through how to help my kiddo and how to help myself, because it is a struggle. Parenting just in general can be a challenge, but the unique challenge where you just want to see your kiddo do well, and they need some unique tools. So pathways to permanence. Let's see what you're going to learn. You're going to learn to strengthen your connection with your kiddo. Can you see this here? Let's just flip it. You're discovering new ways to build a stronger, more trusting relationship with your child. You're going to learn how to manage the effects of their trauma. So strategies, effective strategies to help your child cope with past trauma and improve their emotional regulation. And let me tell you, emotional regulation, a lot of these children really struggle in that regard, and it shows up in different ways. And one of the things that just makes me so proud of my daughter and I and our little family is how together we have worked through that. And this kiddo, she has overcome so much, and the resilience and that emotional regulation. It took us a while, and we're still, all kids struggle with emotional regulation to an extent, but did this course ever help us work on that? It helped me more so than anything help her, because there's nothing wrong with our kiddos. Every behavior that they have, every emotional reaction, it is all understandable and a natural consequence of the facts of their life, the things that led them to where they are. And so nothing wrong with them, but can I learn to how to better assist them? Yeah, we can all learn. And so this course, amazing. And it also helps them build resilience, your kiddo. So you equip your child with the tools to overcome those challenges and build that resilient mindset. Now, in terms of this course, how do they deal with this course? So you can take the course either in person or online. I've done both. I mean, COVID, right? I took it in the middle of COVID. That was probably another reason that I felt that I needed some grounding. COVID had some challenges for us. And the fact of the matter is we're still experiencing the ramifications of that for our kiddos, right? I look at my 7-year-old. I mean, she grew up during COVID. We had our birthday parties inside without that big sense of family surrounding us. So, I mean, wow, I'm glad that phase of life has passed us. Expert guidance. You're getting benefits and insights from trainers who understand, and the program is increasing family functioning. So there is, let's see, the program itself is approximately 8 weeks. So you're meeting weekly. It's free for families, again, who are adopting publicly. And then sometimes it's also offered to kin families as well. Check with Interwoven Connections. They can really walk you through that. But it's just, I highly recommend it. My plan, so if my kiddo right now is 12 and I've taken it, say when she was 5, guess what? I'm going to take it probably not 5 years. I'm probably going to take it in another 3 years as the hormones really kick in, and I really need to learn how best to assist her with the hormones and the identity formation. I think that's what really concerns me at this phase, is identity formation is really, a lot of work is done on that in the teen years. And so I know that potentially they're teaching the same lessons again and again, but every time I go, I take something new from it. It provides me with a new degree of insight. It provides me with a new degree of confidence, and a sense of calm that everything that we're experiencing is normal. And with my support system surrounding me, people who know and understand in courses like this, my kiddo is going to thrive and survive and just live out whatever dream she has, which is really all I want for her. I want her to be happy, and I don't want anything to stand in her way in terms of that emotional burden of past experience. I just want her to be free to live, and to support her as best I can in her journey. So if you have questions about pathways to permanence, I am not a therapist. I am just someone who loves this course beyond and recognizes the benefits of it, but I can connect you with the needed resources. I'm happy to chat, share my own personal experience, whatever have you. And yeah, I hope Pathways to Permanence Above Pride is something that you would consider if you have adopted.